For this video, I'm going to be talking about the engineering design process and how it connected to the Backscratcher activity that we did for our student side of our notebooks this week. For the first question, in this lesson, in what ways were you acting like an engineer to solve a problem? Throughout the lesson, it kind of talked about how engineers are faced with a problem or like a question, and then they go from there. So for this one, it was, what do you do when you can't reach an itch on your back? So as an engineer, we went ahead, designed something that we thought could help solve the problem, created a prototype, and then ended up revising it to make it better than when we made it the first time. It kind of goes along with almost step by step on how the engineer design process works. For this lesson, sorry, I'm gonna go back to the lesson behind here. For asking, the ask section of the engineer design process, that would be to identify the need and constraints. So that would be, we can't reach an itch on our back, so what can we do to get that itch on our back, So that would be our ask. Our research would be researching the problem. We didn't really research having an itch on your back and not being able to reach it. We kind of dove right into imagining possible solutions, and that's where we were kind of asked to, how could you invent a back scratcher from things around your home? After that, we went into the planning section, which is where our sketches came in to play. Mine is the black one here, was my first sketch about how I could create a back scratcher with things that I found in my house, which just happened to be plastic forks, straws, and rubber bands. And then we were tasked to create that prototype that we drew. So we created a prototype using the actual rubber bands, straws, forks, or whatever to create it, which would be the create part of the engineering design process. The next step would be to test and evaluate the prototype. My prototype is in the other room, but I tested it, kind of realized it could be a little bit better. It could have more of the parts that are actually scratching my back, and it could be a little bit longer, which is where I jumped into the improve part of the design process, which is where I made my revisions. And that's where I decided in my drawing here that I would add forks to the outside that curved towards me so that it could scratch a larger area of my back, and that I would tape more layers of straws to the bottom of my back scratcher so that it could reach further down when I was scratching my back. So yeah, it kind of hit all of the 7 design process parts except for research. I mean, there wasn't a ton of research that we needed to do for this, but I'm sure that if we had more time and the problem was big enough, we could have researched it for sure. Thanks.